Top 10 deadliest machine guns in history, from battlefields to modern times. Hey there, gun enthusiasts. Buckle up, because we're diving into the world of the 10 most lethal machine guns ever created. These bad boys have shaped wars, changed history, and left a mark on the world with their raw power and engineering brilliance. 1. The Maxim gun, the granddaddy of machine guns. Let's kick things off with the OG of machine guns, the Maxim gun. Invented by Hiram Stevens Maxim, an American who moved to Britain, this beast hit the scene in 1883 and changed the game forever. How does it work? Picture this. You fire a shot, and the recoil pushes the barrel back, setting off a chain reaction. The spent cartridge pops out, the bolt cocks, and a new round slides into place, all automatically. To keep the barrel from melting, it had a water cooling system, like something out of an old steam engine. It could spit out up to 1,000 rounds per minute, though in real combat, it was more like 250 to 300. It fed from a belt holding 250 rounds. Where did it fight? The Maxim was a superstar in its day. It saw action in colonial wars, like the Anglo-Boer War in South Africa, where the British used it to mow down resistance. In World War I, it was the king of the trenches, creating no man's lands where nobody dared to cross. It also played a big role in World War II, especially in the Soviet Union, where they nicknamed it Maximka. Even into the 20th century, it popped up in smaller conflicts around the globe. Why is it so awesome? The Maxim was the first true automatic weapon, showing the world what machine guns could do. Before it, soldiers were stuck reloading rifles one shot at a time. With the Maxim, one gunner could hold off an entire company. The downside? It was heavy as heck and needed water to keep cool. Imagine lugging that through the mud. Historical context. To get why the Maxim was such a big deal, let's rewind to the late 19th century. The Industrial Revolution was in full swing, and empires like Britain were gobbling up colonies. They needed weapons to dominate locals armed with spears or outdated guns. The Maxim fit the bill perfectly. In battles like Omdurman in 1898, British troops used Maxims to crush a much larger Sudanese army with minimal losses. It was a game changer. Economic impact. Making Maxims wasn't cheap, but it was worth it. The British company Vickers, which produced them, raked in cash from contracts with armies worldwide. Each gun cost the equivalent of thousands of dollars today, but it could replace dozens of soldiers, making it a smart investment. Plus, building Maxims pushed advancements in metalworking and precision engineering, which helped other industries. My take: the Maxim is like the wise old grandpa of machine guns. It laid the foundation for everything that followed. It wasn't perfect, it was clunky and a pain to move, but it showed what automatic weapons could do. It's a reminder that technology can be both amazing and terrifying, saving lives in some ways and ending them in others. 2. The PK, the Soviet workhorse. Now let's head to the Soviet Union in the mid-20th century. The PK Kalashnikov machine gun was designed under the legendary Mikhail Kalashnikov, the same guy behind the AK-47. Adopted in 1961, it became the go-to weapon for the Soviet Army. How does it work? The PK is a versatile machine gun that can be used with a bipod or a tripod. It runs on a gas-operated system, making it simple and reliable. It fires up to 750 rounds per minute and has an effective range of 1,000 meters. That's enough to take out infantry or light vehicles from distance. It feeds from a belt, so you can keep firing without constant reloads. Where did it fight? The PK saw action everywhere Soviet or post-Soviet forces went: Vietnam, Afghanistan, Chechnya, you name it. It's been used in over 100 countries. Even American experts, after testing it, called it one of the best machine guns ever for its simplicity and durability. It works in mud, dust, heat, or freezing cold without a hitch. Why is it so awesome? The PK is like your best buddy who's always got your back. It's easy to maintain, can be fixed in the field, and keeps firing until the ammo runs dry. It's light for its class, about 20 pounds without a tripod, and can be used as both a light machine gun for infantry and a heavier weapon on a mount. Historical context. In 1961, the Cold War was heating up. The US and USSR were racing to outdo each other in everything from space to weapons. The Soviets needed a gun that was cheap to produce but could stand up to Western designs. The PK was their answer. Mass-produced, reliable, and exported to allies in Eastern Europe, Africa, Asia, and Latin America. It became a symbol of revolutionary movements worldwide. Economic impact. The PK was a budget-friendly beast. Unlike fancy Western guns that needed expensive materials, the PK was as simple as a hammer. Soviet factories like those in Izhevsk or Tula churned them out by the thousands. It cost about a tenth of what an American M60 did, but matched or beat it in performance. This made it a global hit, sold to everyone from communist allies to rebel groups. My take: the PK is the Soviet engineering ethos in a nutshell. No frills, all function. It's not the flashiest or fastest, but it gets the job done. To me, it's like a trusty old pickup truck. Maybe not pretty, but it'll get you through anything. Its widespread use, from armies to insurgents, shows its universal appeal. It's the people's machine gun. 3. MG42, the Hitler's buzzsaw. Let's hop over to Nazi Germany during World War II. The MG42, or Maskengewehr 42, earned the nickname Hitler's buzzsaw for its terrifying sound and insane firing rate. Developed in 1942, it was a nightmare for Allied troops. How does it work? The MG42 uses a recoil-operated system, keeping things simple yet deadly. It could fire between 900 and 1,500 rounds per minute, faster than anything else at the time. Bullets flew at speed from 750 to 1,000 meters per second, with an effective range of 400 meters for single targets and 600 for groups. It fed from 50-round belts, letting it keep up a relentless barrage. Where did it fight? The MG42 was everywhere in World War II. On the Eastern Front against the Soviets, the Western Front against the Allies, in North Africa, and even in guerrilla fights. Germany produced about 400,000 of them, and after the war, its design lived on in guns like the MG3, still used today. Why is it so awesome? The MG42 was a revolution. Its blazing speed could pin down entire units, making it perfect for defense. It was also relatively light and cheap to produce, a must for Germany as resources dwindled. The catch? Its high firing rate wore out barrels fast, so gunners had to swap them out mid-battle. Historical context. In 1942, Germany was fighting a multi-front war and needed weapons to counter the Allies' numbers. The MG42 was their ace. A small squad could hold off a battalion with one of these. Its ripping sound, like tearing cloth, struck fear into soldiers' hearts. From Stalingrad to Normandy, it often tipped the scales. Economic impact. The MG42 was built for wartime efficiency, using stamped metal to cut costs. This let Germany produce them quickly despite shortages. Post-war, its design was licensed to other countries, bringing in revenue for German manufacturers. The MG3 its modern cousin proves its lasting value. My take: the MG42 is the rock star of machine guns. Loud, bold, and unforgettable. Its psychological impact was huge. That sound alone could make you dive for cover. But speed came at a cost. You'd burn through ammo and barrels like crazy. Still, it's hard not to admire its raw power. 4. DSHK, the Soviet heavyweight. Back to the Soviet Union for the DSHK, a massive machine gun developed in 1938 and adopted in 1939. This thing was a beast designed to take out anything from infantry to aircraft. How does it work? The DSHK weighed about 74 pounds on its own and 346 with its wheeled mount. It fired up to 600 rounds per minute, though in combat, it was closer to 125. Bullets flew at up to 860 meters per second, with a range of 3.5 kilometers, 2.5 for aircraft. It used 50-round belts of 12.7 millimeter rounds and could be fitted with anti-aircraft sights. Where did it fight? The DSHK was a staple in World War II, supporting infantry, punching through light armor, and shooting down planes. It saw action in Korea, Vietnam, and countless smaller wars. Mounted on tanks, trucks, and ships, it was a jack of all trades. Upgraded versions, like the DSHKM, are still in use today. Why is it so awesome? The DSHK's versatility made a legend. Its big caliber could shred light vehicles and down low-flying aircraft. Its rugged design meant it could handle the worst conditions. The downside? It was a bear to carry, requiring a team effort to move. Historical context. In 1938, the USSR was gearing up for war, with Germany's tanks and planes looming large. The DSHK was built to counter those threats, able to pierce early tank armor and take on aircraft. During World War II, it protected cities from air raids and held the line on the front. Economic impact. Building the DSHK wasn't cheap, but the Soviets mass-produced it to arm their massive military. Post-war exports to allies and developing nations brought in cash for the Soviet arms industry. Its long service life made a cost-effective choice. One gun could last decades. My take: the DSHK is like a tank among machine guns, big, powerful, and a bit unwieldy. Its ability to tackle ground and air targets is unreal, but you need some serious muscle to haul it around. It's a brute that gets the job done, no questions asked. 5. M2 Browning, the American icon. Now let's talk about an American legend, the M2 Browning. Designed by John Browning in 1932, based on his earlier M1921, this machine gun is still kicking, but today. How does it work? The M2 weighs about 84 pounds, 130 with a tripod, and stretches over 5 feet long. Depending on the model, it fires 485 to 635 rounds per minute, M2HB, or up to 1,200 M3. Bullets hit speeds of 895 meters per second, with a range of 2,000 meters. It uses a 12.7 millimeter disintegrating belt. Where did it fight? The M2 has seen every major U.S. conflict since World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan. It's been mounted on tanks, planes, ships, and jeeps. Used by NATO and allies like the UK, Belgium, and South Korea, it's one of the most widespread machine guns ever. Why is it so awesome? The M2 is the Swiss Army knife of machine guns. It can take out infantry, light armor, and low-flying aircraft. Its reliability is the stuff of legends. Some M2s from World War II are still in service. Plus, it's easy to maintain, which soldiers love. Historical context. In 1932, America was in the Great Depression, but its military was looking ahead. The M2 was designed to counter new threats like tanks and planes. In World War II, it became a symbol of U.S. power, and its global exports strengthened America's influence in the arms trade. Economic impact. The M2 was pricey to build, but its longevity made it a bargain. Browning and other manufacturers made billions from U.S. and allied contracts. Its versatility and constant upgrades kept it relevant, saving money on new designs. My take: the M2 is like a classic muscle car, timeless, powerful, and reliable. It's not the lightest or fastest, but it's built to last. Its ability to adapt to any role makes it a true American icon. 6. DP, the Soviet hero of World War II. Back to the USSR for the DP, Degtyaryov Infantry, designed by Vasily Degtyaryov and adopted in 1927. This was the Red Army's go-to machine gun during World War II. How does it work? The DP uses a gas-operated system, keeping it simple and dependable. It fires about 550 rounds per minute, dropping to 80 in combat. Bullets travel at 840 meters per second, with a range of 2,500 meters. It feeds from a 47-round flat disc magazine, perfect for infantry. Where did it fight? The DP was the backbone of Soviet infantry in World War II, from Moscow to Berlin. It supported squads and platoons and was used by NKVD units guarding key sites. It was a workhorse in the harshest battles. Why is it so awesome? At about 26 pounds with a bipod, the DP was light for its time, making it easy to carry. Its simple design meant it could be mass-produced and maintained in the field. It wasn't the fastest, but it got the job done. Historical context. In 1927, the USSR was rebuilding after the Civil War. The DP was a cheap, reliable answer to the need for mass arming. During World War II, it became a symbol of Soviet resilience, holding the line against the Nazis. Economic impact. The DP was dirt cheap to produce, churned out by factories like Toulouse. Its exports to socialist allies brought in extra cash. Its simplicity made it a favorite in developing nations, boosting Soviet influence. My take: the DP is like a loyal dog, always there when you need it. It's not flashy, but it was perfect for the gritty, desperate fights of World War II. It's a testament to Soviet ingenuity under pressure. 7. M240, the modern American powerhouse. The M240, adopted in the 1970s, is an American take on the Belgian FN MAG. It's a mainstay in NATO armies and a favorite of U.S. troops. How does it work? The M240 is gas-operated, firing up to 950 rounds per minute. Bullets zip at 869 meters per second, with an effective range of 500 meters. It feeds from a belt, making it great for sustained fire. Where did it fight? The M240 has been in every U.S. conflict since Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, you name it. It's mounted on vehicles, helicopters, and ships, proving its versatility in modern warfare. Why is it so awesome? The M240 balances power, reliability, and precision. It's accurate enough for infantry and tough enough for vehicles. Its modular design makes it easy to upgrade, keeping it relevant. Historical context. In the 1970s, the U.S. needed a better machine gun than the M60. The M240, adopted in 1977, became the NATO standard. It's shown in operations like Desert Storm and Iraqi Freedom. Economic impact. The M240 is expensive, but its versatility saves money in the long run. FN Herstow, its manufacturer, has made billions from U.S. and allied contracts. Its adaptability means fewer new designs are needed. My take: the M240 is like a modern SUV, powerful, reliable, and ready for anything. It's not the lightest, but its precision and strength make it a soldier's best friend. It's the perfect blend of old school, toughness, and modern tech. 8. M134 minigun, a storm of bullets. The M134 minigun is the stuff of Hollywood dreams. Developed by General Electric in 1960, it's a six-barreled beast that redefined firepower. How does it work? Based on the Gatling principle, the minigun fires 2,000 to 6,000 rounds per minute. It uses 7.62 millimeter rounds fed from massive belts. Its electric motor makes it a beast to power, but the results are jaw-dropping. Where did it fight? The minigun starred in Vietnam, mounted on helicopters and gunship planes to rain hell on the jungle. Today, it's mostly used in aviation, though it sometimes appears on vehicles. Why is it so awesome? The minigun is pure chaos, a bullet storm that obliterates everything. Its insane firing rate makes it perfect for suppression, but its weight and power needs limited to vehicles or aircraft. Historical context: in 1960, the U.S. needed a weapon to counter guerrilla tactics in Vietnam. The minigun, mounted on choppers, could clear entire areas in seconds. It became a symbol of American air superiority. Economic impact: miniguns are crazy expensive, tens of thousands per unit, plus costly maintenance. But for the U.S., they were worth it, showcasing technological dominance. General Electric's contracts kept the cash flowing. My take: the minigun is like a Ferrari, flashy, impractical for everyday use, but absolutely thrilling. Its sheer firepower is mesmerizing, but it's a specialist tool. You don't carry it, it carries you. 9. KPVT, the Soviet tank buster. The KPVT, developed in 1944 and adopted in 1949, is another Soviet monster. This heavy machine gun was built to destroy. How does it work? Weighing 115 pounds, the KPVT is over 6 feet long with a 4-foot barrel. It fires up to 614.5 millimeter rounds per minute at speeds up to 1,000 meters per second. Its range is 2,000 meters, 1,500 for air targets, fed by 50-round belts. Where did it fight? The KPVT saw action in Korea, Vietnam, and conflicts across Africa and the Middle East. Mounted on tanks, anti-aircraft systems, and ships, it's still in use in some armies today. Why is it so awesome? The KPVT's massive caliber can punch through light tanks and fortifications. Its rugged design thrives in tough conditions, making it a go-to for heavy firepower. Historical context: in 1944, the USSR needed weapons to counter German armor and aircraft. The KPVT was their answer, able to shred tanks and down planes. Post-war, it armed Soviet allies and proxies. Economic impact: the KPVT was costly to build, but its versatility and exports to dozens of countries paid off. Its long service life made it a smart investment for the Soviet arms industry. My take: the KPVT is like the DSH case bigger, meaner brother. It's a powerhouse, but you'd need a crane to move it. Its ability to take on anything from tanks to planes makes it a legend. 10. Your pick. Who's the champ? We've reached number 10, and I'm leaving this one up to you. There are so many great machine guns out there. Maybe the British Bren, light and reliable? Or the German MG3, a modernized MG42? Maybe something wild like the Singaporean Ultimax 100? Drop your choice in the comments. Historical context. Picking the 10th gun is like choosing your favorite band. Everyone's got an opinion. Machine guns have defined warfare for over a century, and they keep evolving with lighter materials and smarter tech. Economic impact. The global arms market is worth billions, and machine guns are a big slice of that pie. Modern designs like the FN Minimi or HK MG5 require huge R&D budgets, but exports keep the cash flowing. Upgrading old guns like the M2 or MG3 is a lucrative business too. My take: choosing the 10th gun is like picking your favorite pizza topping. There's no wrong answer. I'm partial to the Bren for its portability and charm, but I want to hear your pick. What's the machine gun that deserves this spot? Wrapping it up, machine guns that shaped the world. There you have it, 10 of the deadliest machine guns in history. Each one is more than just metal and bullets. They're stories of war, innovation, and human struggle. From a Maxim's trench warfare to the minigun's Hollywood flair, these guns have left their mark on history. Why machine guns matter? Machine guns turned wars into meat grinders, forcing armies to rethink tactics. They paved the way for tanks, planes, and modern warfare. They're a double-edged sword, tools of victory and tragedy. The future of machine guns. Today's machine guns are getting lighter with materials like carbon fiber and smarter with tech like laser sights. But their core, simplicity, reliability, power, remains unchanged. They're here to stay. Machine guns are the heavy metal of weapons. Loud, intense, and unforgettable. They show how far human ingenuity can go, for better or worse. I hope we'll see a day when these tools are used less for destruction and more for protection or even just history lessons. Until then, let's marvel at their engineering. Drop a comment with your favorite machine gun and why it rocks. If you think I missed a gem, let me know. I'm always up for a good debate about firepower.